Oh, it's me. Hi, I'm Dorothy Wilhelm, and this is Generation Gap. Now, actually, this is a program I guarantee you, like no other show that you're going to see on a podcast, because already to see how different this is. Now, the idea of Generation Gap is that you get to meet people who are doing wonderful and interesting things of different generations. And then you marvel to yourself and wonder what you can do. So let me introduce to you first my co-host, Ray Miller Still, who has, it says the very queer MS. No, maybe you are. Maybe. And I know that you have a very, you were just discussing recreational drugs when we went up.
Yes. I have not done recreational drugs for a long time. I decided in my 20s, I had to pick, and I picked alcohol. So we were sticking with alcohol. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, I gotta pick an alcohol. I can't do all of them anymore.
Are they still doing it in your 30s, whatever it is they're doing?
Drinking? Yeah, yes, I'm still drinking. Absolutely. Oh, I made myself it was an absinthe ginger beer lime cocktail. Very good.
Wow.
I also made a Death in the Afternoon because we were watching the Oscar Wilde's Importance of Being Earnest, and that was absolutely terrible. Because just absinthe and champagne. No, don't do it. Don't do that one. Don't do that one.
Well, so you see what you're getting into here. And we bring our other co-host up, and that is Jason Falls. And Jason is kind of what they call about our traveling man. And he's going to bring us reports from other parts of the nation and everything.
I should just make it clear now that this is just a non-alcoholic ginger beer, since we just had that conversation.
Okay, good. Jason?
No drinking on the job.
But what's your situation on recreational drugs?
Well, I don't partake in very many recreational drugs anymore either, along with Ray. But I have recently, because of the legalization and sort of common use of marijuana and or THC gummies, if in low doses, micro doses, they help me sleep. And so a lot of times, if I'm kind of restless around 10:30 at night, I may have a little low microdose gummy to kind of help relax me and get me ready for bed. But that's about it.
Melatonin.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one that helps you sleep, melatonin?
It's supposed to. Melatonin doesn't do a whole lot to me though. I'm pretty caffeinated, so I need a little something a little bit stronger. And I found that a little 10 milligram THC gummy.
You got to stop doing the espresso shots at 10 o'clock, Jason.
Unfortunately, I mainline soda all day. That's my problem.
Oh man, you can't do that. Get some water in you. Go hydrate. Now, go hydrate right away.
I take melatonin every night. The doctor gave it to me. I didn't know that was a recreational drug.
It's not.
No, melatonin.
Is that your recreational drug, Dorothy? Is that the only one you've ever had is melatonin?
Oh, well, I don't think I've ever had any. It wasn't what I did. I don't think so.
That's okay.
I did everything in high school. I had contacts that would get me weed and alcohol, and yeah.
That's your age, because the kids, when my son was coming home from the Coast Guard Academy, and I remember him clearly throwing up in the front lawn because that was what there was to do, apparently.
I brought West Coast weed to the East Coast when I lived in New York, and I guess it really made a difference because they just didn't have that over there. I also remember buying my first $100 bag of weed, and it came like a gallon bag. I was like, yeah, it's gonna last a while.
Well, that is
the people you meet on the street in New York.
And obviously here on a podcast. Well, so what have you done with what did you do with the big bag? Did you use it all up? Or?
Oh yeah. It's gone within a month. It's gone within a month.
It has to be, or it goes bad.
I had a lot of friends to share with too.
There you go.
Well, see, now people know what they're in for anyway. So the whole idea you guys have to talk. I am losing my voice.
Well, I guess since we're talking about recreational drugs, I've been curious about how Gen Z and how the alcohol consumption is like decreasing. Like they're really not into alcohol.
Right.
Which, I mean, great for them, awesome for them. It's not healthy, but they are using more substances.
Right.
Well, because alcohol is kind of like a depressant, which makes you feel sad if you drink too much.
That's true.
And it gives you a lot of anxiety. So instead, they're turning to different substances to try and help out with that anxiety, because Gen Z is the most anxious generation we've had.
Yeah. But now you guys were supposed to introduce yourselves. People will know what they're getting into.
Yes, this Ray Miller Still, Millennial, which meant we didn't really follow the rules. But if you think we're bad, you gotta wait for Gen Z and their substances.
I'm Jason Falls. I'm Gen X, which our generation is characterized by the fact that we don't really care what you think and stay off of our lawn, and that's kind of it.
You don't do the get off the lawn thing, though.
Well, we do now.
We do the get off the lawn thing. And I am, of course, a member of the silent generation, which is everyone always says you've never been silent a moment in your life. So he look at that. He's a little naughty. But it did mean that we followed the rules, and we did. I don't know what was wrong. What was possibly wrong with us?
Which I guess means that you did not partake. You followed the rules.
No, I didn't, but I didn't seem to need to.
There you go.
There you go. So last month we talked about the fact that, to my surprise, the people my age are actually apparently using more the telephone and the, what else would it be, Ray? But anyway,
telephone, iPads. I think iPads are very specifically popular.
You see, that just astonishes me. So it's just like you just get the pad and pen on it or whatever.
Yeah, the touch screens and the iPads and tablets and whatnot. It's
and the AI.
Yeah, I gave my daughter my iPad because I didn't know what I would possibly do with it. So see, that's kind of a reverse thing. But anyway, the point is, when after the show was over, we got quite a lot of feedback from people who were Yeah, no, do that. We're nice people, but they weren't thrilled. They felt like we had overlooked the fact that people our age need to have the phone, and especially the phone, because they say they keep all of their their appointments on it, their medicine, when do they have to take the medicine, what time is it, what if one of the children calls, then see it.
They won't. They might. They won't.
I know that, as a matter of fact. So, what do you think about all this? I just would like to get. It's not like we need a support for what we said, because what we said was good as far as it went.
Right. Well, we were really talking about the seniors that doom scroll, the ones that are on their phone and they're not doing anything and not really using their phone as a tool. Now, they might also use their phone as a tool, but we're talking, opening up your phone, opening up Facebook, and it's like, you're like, I'm going to be here for 2 seconds while I, get ready for bed. And then 3 hours later, you're going. That's really the kind of folks we were trying to talk about in our last segment. So, apologies if you got wrapped up in the over the umbrella of phone usage, because everybody uses their phones, hopefully as tools. I got a calendar on it. You guys got a calendar on it. And I do wonder, actually, if there's a study out there about the increased independence of senior citizens with the ability to have all of that tech available to them, as opposed to needing to rely on nurses, family members, that sort of thing.
And that is something they mentioned, as a matter of fact. A lot of people said, I just couldn't function if I didn't, I have this help, and it's almost like a little helper, that they can depend on.
And that's good. That's good. That's like everybody wants to be independent. And I think senior citizens want to be independent the most, because the lack of independence is staring them in the face. I would also, though, still caution the overuse of phones as a way to remind yourself. Like I just carry this in my pocket, and right now it's empty. But by the end of next month, I'll have to get a new one, because I write down everything in here. I don't remember things that I put down on my phone. I remember things that I handwrite, and that's the way my brain works. And I would highly encourage people to diversify other ways, if that is possible, because you want to keep your brain working.
And is your brain working, would you think?
Oh, I got a 4.5-year-old. My brain is not working.
Okay, there is a thing. What are you doing with the 4.5-year-old with the phone and the games and all that kind of thing?
He does not. If he has access to our phone, he has access to Khan Academy Kids, or Kami Kami Kids, as he puts it. And that is an educational game that helps him spell, read, and learn about some sciences, animals, that sort of thing. So he can do that for maybe half an hour, and then he's done. Or he's watching French cartoon, like Little Brown Bear. Everything's in French, so he's learning French. He has like one puzzle game that he calls the alligator game. It's just like you're trying to get the water to the alligator. It's a physics game, very simple problem solving. And that's it for the phone usage. We don't give him our phone to just play on. Absolutely not. He does have a Switch. It's my Switch, but I let him play it. He plays a Pokemon game. Occasionally I'll let him overplay it, and then I will regret that later. But he does not. He has very limited phone and handheld screen time. Extremely limited. We were at a birthday party of his cousins, and his other cousins came, and at some point during the party, all the toys got forgotten because they were just on the phone. And I was like, that's so odd. What are they on? And they're on TikTok. And we're talking, this is a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid who's just scrolling TikTok. I'm like, okay, Bren, why don't we go do something else? You don't need to be on TikTok. Oh, he does watch content creators. He gets to watch like someone create something, and it'll actually play content creator with us. He has us pretend he's him, and he'll be the content creator. And he's picked up phrases like, I know you probably don't see the vision, but let me cook, or this is the vibe. I'm like, okay, this is great. You're watching people create, you're playing actual educational games, like fantastic. But it is still, it's pretty limited.
Yeah.
It's way different than it used to be, though. And so it's as a great grandma, I'm a great grandma. You really worry about the fact that, for instance, at the high school my kids went to, my two youngest graduated from, the suicide rate has shot up. And it's not like just an app or a test. We know these people.
Yeah.
And
that's why they should be using more substances to keep them from doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. But how would we introduce that?
Terrible advice. Yeah.
But well, then let's turn this around the other way. Oh, yeah. Jason, did you have a terrible advice? Did you have anything?
All of my advice is terrible. So
that's very true. Yeah,
you're a white Gen Xer. I don't think you have anything of value to give us.
Yeah, I'm kind of the outcast now in society, which is fine.
Is there anything? Did you ever give any terrible advice or make a terrible move as a parent that turned out to be a really good thing?
The thing that comes to mind rather instantly, and this is kind of funny because I grew up on Saturday morning cartoons, Tom and Jerry, Hanna-Barbera, all that kind of stuff. The first time that I let my son, when he was probably 3 or 4 years old, the first time I let him watch Tom and Jerry, it was literally like maybe 2 episodes. He immediately started hitting things and became more violent than he'd ever been before. And I just made that connection. It was like, oh my goodness, the the hijinks and the antics of Tom and Jerry hitting each other over the head with hammers and chasing each other around is translating to violent behavior in my child. So almost immediately it was like, okay, we're not watching Tom and Jerry anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not permitted in our household. And so, and I think that in terms of device use and whatnot, my then wife, she's now my ex-wife, but as we had those conversations and whatnot over time, we were very careful about limiting the use of devices. The kids didn't have TVs in their room until I think my son might have been maybe 12 or 13 before he got a TV.
Wow, you put a TV in his room?
Put a TV in his room. It was mostly
these days.
It was mostly for gaming. He did play games. But I also would sit in the room and monitor him while he was playing games, and they were very social games. He was online playing with 5 or 6 other friends. And so I saw a lot more social value to it than the, stereotype of this is burning his brain and he's not socializing and he's not learning anything. It was very social and a very learning centric environment for the games that he played at the time. So we thought it was okay for that. And, I would argue that both my kids turned out okay. So
of course you'd argue.
I think we did all right.
I would add to that. I don't need this. I would add to that I think a lot of the older generation, and I think Dorothy would be included in that because you don't play games. Just about why would I introduce my kid to Pokemon so early when he can barely play? He somehow managed to beat the game. Not quite sure how, but he managed. So why would we do that? And part of it is because it's something that I love, and I play Pokemon a lot, and it's something that his Avi Cameron really loves. So this is a way for us to form a little niche for ourselves about this thing that we love, and it's a lot for other kids too. I didn't get my first gaming system until I hit double digits, which was, I really wanted a Game Boy or whatever, and my parents didn't give one, but I think they finally realized that I was missing out on something that my entire cohort was participating in. And, these games might seem like they're useless and they're not giving us any sort of value. But what Jason said was that these games are they encourage socialization. Yeah. And that's super important. They encourage socialization. Very often they coordinate, they teach teamwork. Even with those violent games with the guns, first-person shooters, you team up and talk and work as a team. It's practically a group project. So the value of these sorts of games are hidden, but they're there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I just absolutely can't stand that whole thing. See, now that actually, I think that's one of the first real. There's been a couple of mildly generational gap things, but this one, and we run into a couple today. Absolutely, this would be down to the line. I just wouldn't. And the kids are doing very well. That doesn't at all say that they wouldn't be doing very well with different people. Don't parent their kids the way we did.
Sure.
No.
Well, and I think something that, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that this is a generation gap thing, because I don't think what I'm getting ready to tell you is not necessarily a generation gap. I think it varies from person to person. Certainly generational differences have a lot to do with it. But I think a lot of what we're talking about with, like, for instance, Dorothy's disinterest in gaming and her disinterest in AI and whatnot, I think it's because certain people don't give it a chance to see what the benefits are. Because I think if you would have told my generation, my parents' generation back in the 80s and 90s, hey, these multiplayer games and Call of Duty and whatnot, they're very violent and they can encourage violence in children, they're going to say, okay, well, my kid's never going to play that. But they don't investigate it enough or talk to other people enough to realize wow, there's some socialization skills here. There's some organizational skills. There's some team management things that can come from some of these games. It's when you get in and investigate sort of the benefits of something like this, like technology, like AI even. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with AI. AI is terrible. AI is going to ruin the world. Do you realize that I can take the recording of this particular podcast episode and I can put it in an AI engine, and not only will it produce a transcript, but I can produce little 15 to 30 second social media clips in an instant that we could promote the show with. So there's lots of benefits to AI if you just look past that initial fear and go, oh, okay, we can use this for some productive means. Certainly it has to be managed. Certainly you have to have human interaction. Certainly there has to be some diplomacy about it all. But yeah, the benefits often outweigh the risks if you're willing to take those risks.
The tiger's already out of the bottle, though. So
it is. Well, and I would just add, there's environmental concerns about using AI as well that you absolutely have to consider. But I think I can wrap this all up into one nice little, one last little package. Because we're talking about video games and we're talking about substances and doom scrolling, and in reality, like, these are all substances in the general term. Yep. So when it comes to like doom scrolling and seen as doom scrolling, they're getting a fix that they have to manage. When you are over gaming, you're getting a fix that you have to manage. If you are overindulging, definitely you'll think about, okay, I need to cut back because now my behavior is being altered, even when I'm not drinking or smoking or whatever else you decide to use. So I think the big thing here is there's a lot of benefits to AI, to your phones as a tool, to gaming, from video games to D&D, to substances, sleeping being one. I don't think there's really any benefit to alcohol beyond the fact that I love it. But it's all about moderation, and these are things that we can all enjoy to a point. So put down that phone, don't get that second drink, turn off the TV at 8 o'clock, and I think you'll find that the benefits of these activities or substances or whatever can be extremely helpful. Yeah. But as with any tool, it depends on how you use it.
Right.
Well, I think I would certainly say, and by the way, I don't dislike games. I just don't play them because I got other things to do. But what I think, I won't be using AI. As I've told you, my husband was involved in the beginning and developments of it, and what I saw then makes me very reluctant. So I won't. But what I found that I'm going to have to do is learn how it works, because I'm not. At 90, at almost 93, they're not going to care what I use. But the fact is, you got to know. The whole thing is, it isn't possible to just say, I close my eyes, I have nothing to do with it. Yep. That just can't be done. So
I think that's an excellent point, in that it's very easy when you're older, but also it doesn't really matter what age you are, to make assumptions based off of fear. And I would encourage people to, when they say, I will never do that, I will never do a substance, I will never take you don't have to do it, but definitely learn more about it. We fear what we don't know. So, look into AI, look into the benefits of games and stuff, or anything else. You're like, I will never do that. Well, do you know anything about it? This is your opportunity to learn and grow your worldview. That's important.
And the other thing is, from having been a mom as long as I have, you got to remember the little kids are watching you. So what you need is, it isn't, so I'm not saying, just be careful what you're doing. We all know that. But be sure to raise an attitude of learning, of that kind of, be sure that they see that if there are things they wonder about, that mama doesn't say, well, I've just got too much to do, so that would be my little bit of advice. Jason, did you give your little bit of advice? Or,
just keep an open mind. Don't, kind of what Ray was saying, don't shut everything out completely. Keep an open mind and learn.
All right.
Was that 30 minutes? I don't know. I wasn't checking.
Yeah, we're with the little things up and all. So in that event, we're heading for the hills. Did you have an inspirational close then? He muffled it. He did.
I feel like that was pretty inspirational, but
right.
Go ahead, just get out there and learn. You're never too old to learn something new.
Yep. That really is true. And even more important, in fact, this is actually good, is that when you get to be my age, learning new things is life-saving.
Mm-hmm.
Is it you are actually keeping yourself in the world.
Yep. And don't use AI to learn. Learn on your own. Don't just ask it for the answer. Go figure it out for yourself.
Exactly.
AI is a great tool, but don't let it control your brain.
But it is going to ruin the world.
Everybody says that. I'm like, it's not going to ruin the world. It's going to change the world.
No, it isn't. I will tell you why. Because it can't be turned off, and it's the first time we've ever had. It's the first time there's been a thing that you couldn't turn off.
Well, the people in Dune turned it off. I think we can do it too.
I don't know them.
Yeah, it's like on like page 6. They're like, yeah, we had to turn off the learning machines because it only allowed the powerful to control the peasants.
Yeah, I knew them, and there's so much to think about, But anyhow, thank you for coming and for being here today, whatever day this was. Ray, the very queer RMS. I think that's something nice, though, right?
Yes. Just read queer all year.
Oh, there it is. And Jason Falls, Jason doesn't give a damn, so we're glad to have him here.
Sure. Get off my lawn.
See, that is so funny. You're not allowed to say that.
I'm old enough, I think, to say that.
So, and I've been here too. This is a production of the SOB Radio Network. SOB stands for Spunky Old Broads, and all the hosts are women over 50. So that's what we do for fun, and we'll look forward to talking to you all again. This is Dorothy Wilhelm, back in the pool now. Splash.